Wow. The Philadelphia 76ers win a ridiculous shootout in overtime in Memphis on a VJ Edgecombe game winner, on a Joel Embiid performance that is going to start a lot of conversations. There's a lot of things to say. I do want to say it's nice not playing the Oklahoma City Thunder. Ja Morant had his best game, I think, in 3 years. So many things I want to say about this one, and I want to hear from you also. Let's go.
Sixers, why won't you just lose and put me out of my misery? Why do you got to keep doing this to me, bro? Nobody else should touch the ball right here. He shoots it from the logo. Oh, we're going to overtime! Tyrese Maxey is a god amongst men!
Welcome to Run It Back Philly, home of the Sixers sicko. Sixers post-game live, presented to you by Bright Medical Technology. A lot of things I want to say about this game, and I'm sure a lot of things you want to say. But first, this is brought to you by our friends at Bright Medical Technology, Pennsylvania's largest medical supplier and pharmacy, specializing in oral nutrition and tube feeding supplies, incontinence supplies, ambulatory aids, respiratory products, and diabetic supplies. I see your super chats over here. I'm trying not to let that scroll past. Bright Medical works with most PA insurance companies and can deliver anywhere in Pennsylvania. They offer hand delivery services or UPS solutions, servicing patients from all ages. Their call staff speaks 15 languages and is always live, never an automated system. Don't forget they have generic ED meds, 30 tablets delivered to your door for $40, so you can perform in the clutch like the 76ers just did in overtime. Take her to overtime. Lowest price in the area, and you'll get 10% off your order when you mention Run It Back Philly. If you're unsure where to get your medical supplies, don't hesitate to call Bright Medical Technology right now at 215-725-MEDS. That's 215-725-6337, or go to brightmedi.com. Yeah, that was a crazy one. And here's what I want to say first, because when the Sixers lost to the Thunder and when they lost the game before that, the chat was crazy negative. And I know a lot of fans don't come through the post-game live shows after a loss, especially when they get blown out an entire second half. So the only people really in the chat were the negative Neds. This is the worst team ever. I can't believe you thought they were any whatever. And I literally said, I was like, watch, the next time they win a game, Joel's going to have 30 or something. You guys are going to be right back in the chat telling me how good this team is. It's unreal how just extreme the fan base is from both sides, on both sides of the coin, how extremely negative we are after losses, how extremely positive we are after wins. And I think because of that, I'm going to try to keep myself tempered here, okay? I'm going to try to keep myself tempered. Heezy8954 with the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. He said, great win, but for this team to reach its full potential, we need to have better ball movement. Embiid at power forward was great. Remind me of Cat and Gobert. I'm going to talk about that Embiid Bona lineup, definitely. Thank you for the super chat. VJ Edgecombe game winner, guys. VJ Edgecombe game winner. I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what to say anymore. I have a reel on TikTok or Instagram from a post-game show just a couple of, maybe last week, where I was just in awe of how good VJ Edgecombe is as a rookie, and not just how good he is as a rookie, how good he is in the fourth quarter, how good he is at the clutch, in the clutch, how good he is when the pressure gets the highest. I've never seen this before from somebody that age. I never have. It's like the guy has it. He has the it factor. You know, most players, it takes them years to get used to the pressure of the NBA and to get used to the biggest moments to perform in the fourth quarter and to perform in overtime. I mean, for the most of fourth quarter and overtime, not most of it, but a large part of fourth quarter and overtime, VJ Edgecombe was bringing the ball up the floor. VJ Edgecombe was running the whole show. I'm at a loss for words for a 20-year-old to have that level of poise and that level of confidence and just that composure to be on a stage this big national TV, NBA, 20 years old, controlling a game in the fourth quarter and overtime. It's absolutely outlandish. It's ridiculous. And, a lot of people are going to always remind me that I wanted Ace Bailey in the draft, and I'm going to, that's fine. But I'm happy I was wrong. I'm happy I was wrong. That's all I'm going to say about wanting Ace Bailey over him, even though I did say a lot of nice things about VJ Edgecombe leading up to that draft. I did always like VJ Edgecombe, but happy to be wrong there. The Sixers, VJ really won this game for the Sixers in more ways than just that final shot. That fourth quarter, what did he rip off? 3 or 4 threes in the third and fourth quarter? And he just, it got to the point where you knew it was going in. Do you know how you can see in a player's body language how confident they are? I feel like the only people that didn't see how confident VJ Edgecombe was the Memphis Grizzlies. All the way down to a tie game. What was it? 136-136. And really, when you think about it, it was bad defense by the Memphis Grizzlies. A lot of times in the fourth quarter and in overtime, specifically on VJ Edgecombe. They just kept leaving him wide open. It was like they didn't learn from the possession before. All the way down to the final possession of the game. If I was a Memphis Grizzlies fan, I would have been screaming at the fact that they doubled Tyrese Maxey around a screen and left VJ Edgecombe open again. There was 6 seconds left. And Maxey was off his game in the fourth again. Maxey's been off his game in the fourth quarter lately. Maxey's been clutch this whole season, but the last couple of fourth quarters, man, he's struggled. He's looked out of rhythm. There was a jumper in the fourth that he rushed really early in the shot clock. He's just been a little bit out of rhythm in the clutch. Looked a little bit fidgety. Looked a little bit. I just can't believe the Memphis Grizzlies doubled him again and left VJ Edgecombe wide open for the game winner. And anybody that watched the game from beginning to that point just knew it was going in. I was standing up screaming in my living room. I was like, VJ, game winner. I almost looked away. I almost did a Steph Curry. I almost looked away from the TV because I knew it was going in. That kid is unbelievable. He is absolutely unbelievable. What a draft pick for the 76ers. And we've been talking about how for the past couple of years, how even if this Joel Embiid thing doesn't work, at least we have Tyrese Maxey for the future. Now you have another kid that looks like the sky is the limit, or the universe is the limit, or another dimension is the limit. There's no limit for how good VJ Edgecombe can be if he's performing like this in the fourth quarter and overtime at 20 years old as a rookie. There's no limit at all. I got to give Joel Embiid credit in this one, man. Joel Embiid played his best game this season. And he looked the healthiest he's looked all season. Now he's had, a couple of days off. He didn't play the OKC game. I can't even remember when the last time he played, maybe against the Bulls. So he's had some time to rest. But I didn't expect to see some of the things that I saw from Joel Embiid in this one. And this is what's leading me to believe that, maybe he still has a decent level of athleticism. He just hasn't trusted his knees in so far getting back in here early in the season. Because there's times where he just doesn't jump, even in this game. I thought the first half defensively was pretty bad. Well, not pretty bad. They gave up 72 points in the first half, but I mean, interior defensive wise, was pretty bad. Not just Joel, but a lot of possessions. He was doing what I was used to him doing this season, not really moving, not really even putting a hand up. And then randomly he would just jump and block a shot. And I'm like, so is he cooked or not, bro? Or is he just choosing, okay, I tested it out. You know what I mean? Okay, I jumped and blocked that shot and it didn't hurt, And then, he missed the dunk, but to throw the ball off the backboard to himself, that takes a level of confidence in his body that I don't think we've seen this season and probably last season. Now, he missed the dunk late on the floor. The Memphis Grizzlies went down on a 5-on-4 power play and scored on the other end, so I didn't love that. So there was still a lot of things that I didn't love about Joel Embiid in this game in the paint, especially in the first half. but he showed flashes of being himself. I think that's what I want to say. He showed flashes of being himself. It wasn't all bad. Now, in the first half, he had 2 rebounds. The Memphis Grizzlies were out rebounding the Sixers by like 17, doubled, I think 26-13. They had 17 second chance points in the first half. Basically everything was happening in the paint on offensive rebounds in the first half for the Memphis Grizzlies, and a lot of it was Joel Embiid not moving. But later in the game, I guess he just started to trust himself a little bit more. And, you know, he started, the jump to block the shot was nice. The self alley-oop, he didn't make it, but it showed me that he's starting to trust himself a little bit more. And I think we can credit Nick Nurse also, because the Sixers almost had their classic third quarter collapse, you know, and it wasn't a crazy like 14-0 run. It was only like 8-2. The Memphis Grizzlies started the third quarter. They were up 80-74 after it was tied 72-72. And again, I thought Joel was kind of getting cooked in the paint to start that third quarter. And it looked to me like the Memphis Grizzlies had a strategic plan. Nobody on the perimeter could seem to stay in front of Ja Morant. Go right at Joel Embiid. And he laid the ball over Joel Embiid 3 or 4 times in the beginning of that third quarter. And then Nick Nurse made the adjustment to play Edgecombe Bona alongside him. And I don't know if the Sixers' center position is deep enough to keep doing that, but it was the winning formula. And so, shout out to Nick Nurse for doing that, because I don't think Doc Rivers would have done that. It was something that we've been saying about Joel Embiid for a couple of years. Like, you should play this guy next to him to help out, the rebounding and the transition defense and things like that at the center spot. And I think that ended up being a great twin tower lineup that really saved us from the Memphis Grizzlies running away from it in the third quarter. I think that Embiid-Bona lineup was big time. A couple of times where, Embiid had front side defense and Bona had like a weak side block. So I love Nick Nurse's decision to go Joel Embiid and Edgecombe Bona together at the end of the second half of the third quarter. And then I was like, they're going to have to take them out. Well, like, is Andre Drummond going to come in here? What's going to happen? I'm pretty sure Edgecombe Bona just stayed on the floor for like the rest of the third quarter and almost the entire fourth quarter. 26 total minutes for Edgecombe Bona in this game. That's not backup center minutes at all. That's starter center minutes. So we also have to credit Edgecombe Bona for playing 26 minutes in an NBA game and not having 26 fouls. He only had 2 personal fouls in 26 minutes. So shout out to Edgecombe Bona for that also. It was a total team win, and the stat line for Joel Embiid is really going to stand out. His offensive game was going. We've seen him do this several times now this season, and I never doubt his offensive ability. I know the one game when he shot like 2 for 22, that's not good, but I knew like when he's making shots, he's still insanely talented. And he was making shots in this one, and I got to credit him with a large part of this victory also, because in overtime, I don't know if Tyrese Maxey's just tired or what it is, but again, he looked out of rhythm in the fourth quarter. He looked way out of rhythm in overtime, and Joel Embiid, back-to-back big-time shots in overtime to get us to the point where VJ Edgecombe hits the game winner. So 34, 10, and 8 for Joel Embiid. I can't hate it too much. Again, I don't think overall his interior defense was great from start to finish, but he showed flashes of what he used to be. And maybe that's just him coming along and starting to trust himself to make those types of plays, like jumping and blocking a shot and things like that. So, Jesus. I got to get rid of this cat, dude. I have to. 34, 10, and 8 for Joel Embiid. What else did I want to say, man? Maxey, 34, 4, and 12. 12 assists for Tyrese Maxey. 12 assists for the Sixers need a playmaker guy. 12 assists for the Maxey's not a number 1. 12 assists for the Sixers don't have a real leader crowd. And again, I don't think that's a real crowd. I think that's just cellar dwellers on Twitter with anime profile pictures, which whatever that combination is, it's odd to me. There was actually a Paul George stan that hit me up. Just so happened to have an anime profile picture. So I don't know what it is about stan accounts that randomly have anime profile pictures, but me being a creator, I just see them all. They just come at me all the time. They always have an anime profile picture. I don't know. But anyway, for the Maxey isn't a playmaker crowd. He had 12 assists. For the Maxey isn't a number 1 crowd. 34 points and 12 assists. 61% from the field. He was outrageous. Not so much in the fourth quarter, not so much in overtime. But this is what, like, you can look at it like this was always my argument last season, right? When people would be like, yeah, he dropped 34, but it's not equaling wins. You know what I mean? This is what people said to me last year. Yeah, sure, he scored 35, but it doesn't really affect the game. It doesn't equal wins. He doesn't elevate his team. No, he was playing with Kyle Lowry and Eric Gordon. You fucking maniacs. Use your damn brain once in a while. Everybody needs a good team. Michael Jordan got swept in the playoffs twice in the 80s, dropping 40 points a game. It's a 5-on-5 game, bro. So this is what I'm saying last year. Maxey would have 37. The Sixers would lose, and everybody want to come at him about how his game doesn't affect wins. Now you saw it in this game, right? Because he was hot for 3 quarters. He struggled a little bit in the clutch, and now he actually had some teammates that can score baskets in the NBA, do things, and look, the Sixers win. So it's a team game, and it was a team effort. Maxey, Embiid, Edgecombe. Now, look, Paul George, he had 17. He was a plus 11. I didn't think he was crazy effective. He's been shooting the ball terribly. He shot 35% from the field here tonight. He was 3 for 11 from 3. I don't know what his 3 ball's been falling the last couple of games. His 2 ball was really bad 3 or 4 games in a row now. But again, if I'm getting defense and catch and shoot threes from Paul George, I'm fine with it. This was always my issue. The 76ers signed him to be that. Sadly, they paid $50 million a year, $200 million over 4 years. Sadly, they took 33% of the salary cap to pay a guy to be a 3-and-D player. Well, I mean, you could have like signed Keon Ellis or something. maybe not Keon Ellis, but you know what my point is here. But the whole reason I've been coming at Paul George, right, is because he wasn't the number 3 because Joel Embiid's not out there or whatever. When you have Joel looking like 70% of what he used to be, and Tyrese Maxey on his game, then I guess Paul George is the third option that you paid for. Although the third option was VJ Edgecombe, or who even was. I actually think the first option was Tyrese Maxey. The second option was VJ Edgecombe. And the third option was Joel Embiid almost dropping a 30-point triple-double. So, way to go, Paul George. You earned yourself a max contract being a fourth option. But play defense, shoot the 3 when you're open. And, that's all we can really ask at this point because we can't undo the contract. Mojo5763, thank you for the super chat. VJ Rookie of the Year. He's got to be in serious consideration. There has to be serious consideration for VJ Edgecombe to be Rookie of the Year, but only if people are really watching games, because you can't go strictly off numbers. And I think a big problem with a lot of the voting and everything is that people just look at numbers versus numbers. But if you look at his clutch factor, like even if Cooper Flagg has better numbers across the board and is kind of saving the Dallas Mavericks from being a completely tanking team, I think if you look at VJ Edgecombe's clutch factor this season, he has a definite argument to win Rookie of the Year. And what I just said about Maxey and Edgecombe being the number 1 and number 2 option in this game, I was just saying to my girlfriend downstairs when Paul George kicked it out to VJ, I think. And I was like, see, this is what's crazy about this team. They have 2 max contract players. The 2 highest paid players on the team are no longer the 2 best players on the team. And it's feeling like there's a new era. And you kind of need these guys to step out of the way a little bit and put their ego aside, right? To let these young boys run. And it's looked like a battle of timelines, this season so far with all 4 of these guys on the floor. And that's why they were 0-4 with all 4 of these guys on the floor, because they're struggling so far to figure out the chemistry and, the pecking order, I guess. But tonight I thought the clear pecking order was Maxey, VJ, Embiid, or you could go Embiid, VJ. It switched when Maxey was struggling in the fourth and overtime. But I think what I really want to say is that this was the first time I've seen VJ Edgecombe be this assertive with the entire roster active. It's one thing for a rookie to be assertive when those guys aren't out there because, it's on me now. There's nobody else. What am I going to pass the ball to Justin Edwards? I'm VJ Edgecombe. I'm the number 3 pick. When those guys aren't out here, I'm going and getting busy, right? But then the couple of games where Paul George and Joel Embiid were on the floor together with VJ, he wasn't as assertive, and that's where you could see a little bit of rookie mentality being there and him being unsure of himself. I don't know if I should shoot this. I don't know if I should drive here. Maybe I should hesitate, kick it out to the guys getting paid the big bucks. But this game, there was no hesitation from VJ Edgecombe at all. And I think everybody on this team is unselfish. I think we can say that definitely, that the Sixers have a team full of unselfish guys. And you could tell that when VJ started to get it going, nobody was happier to give him the ball than Joel Embiid. Here you go. Take it again. Shoot it again. You're hot. Maxey, here you go. Shoot it again. Paul George is very unselfish. He's never hesitates to pass the ball. So I think it's nice that VJ was that assertive and that he has these teammates that believe in him as much as they need to keep him going like that. And by the time that possession came in overtime and they doubled Maxey, I had no question. I had no question, man. I knew that thing was going in, and it's VJ's confidence. It's VJ learning to be assertive and believe in himself with everybody on the floor. Not necessarily believe in himself, but understand that you are also one of the guys. You know what I mean? You're not a role player. You're one of the guys. And so don't ever hesitate to take a shot, to drive to the rim, whatever it is. Don't ever hesitate. Now, again, it's nice not playing the Oklahoma City Thunder because they essentially took VJ Edgecombe completely out of the game. When you play a team with some weaker defenders, VJ was getting downhill and just going to the rack and had a monster block at one point that was almost embarrassing. I think it was Wells, or VJ was like almost jumped all the way over him and volleyball spiked it into the ground. Did somebody give you catnip, dude? Like, what are you doing? Yeah. That was an incredible game. It was a nail biter. It was a lot of fun. Shout out to Ja Morant also, man. I think Ja Morant had his best game I've seen him have in years. Just so happens it was against the Sixers. He was absolutely not missing in the fourth quarter. Just going right to the rack, just acrobatic shot after acrobatic shot. And, a lot of, you can say about Ja Morant the same thing, the same way I felt about Russell Westbrook or whoever, probably Giannis in a couple of years, right? Like, he relies all on athleticism, and when that athleticism's gone, he might be kind of done, Derrick Rose style. But he still has the athleticism, at least right now, and I think that's what Ja Morant showed everybody tonight. Like, yeah, my game isn't going to age well, but I still have elite athleticism right now. and just like up and unders and up and under with the left in crunch time. And Ja Morant was amazing in this game. It was a fun one, man. And I don't know if the Sixers are a contender. I'm not going to do that anymore. I don't even think I'm going to try to make any predictions anymore. I don't. I'll just have fun when the Sixers play teams like the Memphis Grizzlies. And then when they have another game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, I'll take the night off or something. No, it's not even Bob running around. It's my other cat, Bonnie, dude, and she's flying around the room. It's insane. I don't know what she's doing. She like hides in the corner and then she just pounces out and sprints through the room, dude. She ran into my white sheet that's in front of my light, the diffuser, and almost knocked everything over. Anyway. Philly Fred, what up, man? Thank you for the super chat. Remember I said be patient with Bona. He helps Joel. Well, I mean, it's nice to have Adem Bona out there alongside Joel Embiid. It's nice to have him out there. And again, 26 minutes, man. 26 minutes for Adem Bona and only 2 personal fouls. That is a win if you ask me. What else we got, man? Hit me up in the chat, man. Q&A in the chat or your hottest take, man. Put all your thoughts from this game all in one chat comment, and I will read and react to it, or any other take you have, anything that I didn't talk about that you want to talk about in the game. Drop it in the chat. And I'll react to it here for a while. We'll just do some back and forth. AMG Lefty still fire Nick Nurse. Yeah, I don't like. It is what it is for me with Nick Nurse, man. It is what it is with me. If they fail, if they don't get out of the first or second round this season, I guess fire Nick Nurse. But also, Nick Nurse won a championship with Toronto. It was a stacked roster, but Nick Nurse can win you games when he has the roster on the floor. I don't think he's going to elevate anybody, but we do have to give Nick Nurse credit for trusting VJ Edgecombe at just 20 years old when we yelled at him all last year for being afraid to play young players. Maybe Nick Nurse last year just knew how bad Ricky Council was at basketball, and we didn't know. And maybe he just really knew how bad Justin Edwards was. And maybe he just really knew that Adem Bona wasn't ready. And maybe he said, listen, I could play those young guys and lose. Or I could play Kyle Lowry, Eric Gordon, and Andre Drummond and lose. Maybe he just chose the lesser of two evils. But, I don't think there's a player that we've been like screaming for that like Nick Nurse finally played. I just think the roster is completely different than it was last year. And to be fair to Nick Nurse, this is what he signed up for. This team is what he signed up for. Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and Paul George. And then he gets VJ Edgecombe. And these guys need to get this chemistry together, These guys need to get this chemistry together, and this was a good step in the right direction. Now, I don't want to go crazy and say that Joel Embiid is back because, even Nick Nurse made the comments before this game to the NBC crew. He said, I knew in warm-ups that he was feeling good today. And I was like, that's not a good thing. That's the thing that's frustrating of where we're at right now with Joel Embiid is that he has to feel good. You have to get a day where he's feeling good, So when I hear that, I'm like, okay, so then next game he's not going to feel good. He's going to be out with a knee soreness, right? And then the game after that, he's going to come back and he's just going to look slow and not be jumping, not be defending, not be whatever. And so how can I be confident that I'm going to get this feel-good Joel Embiid in a 7-game playoff series? You know what I mean? So I'm not going to jump the gun or anything. I'm going to keep my expectations tempered, but it's a good step in the right direction for everybody. And I think the best thing to take away from this game is The Sixers having all four of these guys on the floor, Maxey, Embiid, VJ, and Paul George, and really figuring out the chemistry and figuring out, who should have the ball and when. And the last thing I think I want to say is, they also played a pretty up-tempo game with Joel Embiid on the floor. It was a lot of times, a lot of possessions where they got into things quickly, and it wasn't just dump the ball to Joel on the block and let him dribble the clock out for 20 seconds. Even Joel Embiid's offensive possessions were quick. Get it to him on the elbow, one dribble move, shoot the ball, spin, get in the post, draw a double, kick it, whatever it was. I think they've intentionally been, trying to play an up-tempo game with Joel on the floor also. Yeah. Let's see, man. This game was the best Embiid has looked since 2024 playoffs. Owen Frayne, 0. Did he look good in the 2024 playoffs? Just coming back from that knee surgery against the Knicks. I mean, he'd averaged 30 and 10. But he was struggling to move in that playoff series. Seems like we have a chance with any team. All right, see, Burbs got beats. Burbs got beats in the chat. See, this is what I was talking about, man. We're so extreme one way, and then we're so extreme the other way. The Oklahoma City Thunder absolutely embarrassed this team just a couple of days ago. They showed me who the 76ers really are. They're take time to figure it out and get chemistry right now. Go to overtime with the Memphis Grizzlies level of team. They're a middle-of-the-pack level of team right now. Let's call it what it is. They don't have a shot against anybody. You saw what happened against OKC. It wasn't even... They just turned up the intensity in the third quarter and sat their guys the fourth. It wasn't even close. But I guess if I don't know, man, because Paul George doesn't play good against physical defenses like that either, and I don't think Embiid would have had 34, 10, and 8 in that game either. But teams not named the Oklahoma City Thunder? I said that last game too, even after they lost to the Thunder. Teams not named OKC. I like the Sixers' chances. I'm not saying they're high chances, but they're chances. I still feel like they can contend with everybody. And y'all got to give me credit. Y'all got to give me credit because I've been saying this all season. And I just said it again in the last post game after OKC loss. I still feel like with everybody available, the Sixers can contend with anybody in the East. But you got to get Joel Embiid feeling good for a whole 7-game playoff series. So, but if healthy. Now, if you say, well, they're not going to be healthy, then that's fine. They probably won't be. I probably agree with you. But if they are healthy, I don't think you could argue that they can contend in the East. I don't think you could argue. Maxey ain't no facilitator. McCain needs to play at least 20 minutes a night to get more comfortable and trusted. Need to utilize other players way more. We need to utilize other players way more. Maxey had 34 and 12 on 61% from the field. Joel had 34, 10, and 8. VJ had 25, 6, and 4 and 4 steals. And you're saying we need to utilize other players way more. Maxey's not a facilitator. Finishing a game with 12 assists, he's not a facilitator. Okay. King Rocket Man, still waiting for Kelly to return. He was lethal in the beginning of the season. That too, man. We keep forgetting about Kelly Oubre and Trendon Watford, man. We keep forgetting about Kelly Oubre and Trendon Watford. So we'll see what happens when they come back, man. We'll see what happens. Ricky Council was having to do more than he should have with all of the injuries. Yeah, but he's not good. He's not an NBA player. Where's he at right now? Where's he at? Where's Ricky Council right now? Is he on an NBA roster? I don't think so. And I loved his athleticism, don't get me wrong, but he's he's not good. He shoots the ball with two hands like Joakim Noah, bro. Ricky Council last season was the dead last rated jump shooter in the entire NBA. Did you know that? I understand we just love Sixers players, but Ricky Council was bad, man. We can say that. It's okay to say that. How does Oubre and Watford fit back into this rotation when they're ready to come back? I don't think it's going to be hard for Nick Nurse to fit them into the rotation. Look, I don't know if Watford's one that it seems like it's a matchup dependent with Watford, right? Because he's not like, he doesn't come off as like a physical defender. He's very versatile offensively. Even Nick Nurse called him a point forward. You can use Trendon Watford in a lot of different lineups, I think, against certain matchups. And I think Watford or Oubre both will help you when you get stuck in these lineups where you have 4 guards on the floor. You know, having the forward depth in general is going to help you because, you know, Dominic Barlow can't play the whole damn game. Where's Jabari Walker been at? But yeah, just forward depth. I don't know if Oubre ends up back into the starting lineup, but the forward depth is going to be nice. I think so. You know, then you can run Oubre at the 4 next to Embiid in certain lineups, and you know Nick Nurse will just have to get creative. Grizzlies are not that good. They're not that good. You're right, but they haven't had Ja Morant. And actually, what did they say? They won like 5 of their last 7 games or something like that. Look at this. Hold on. Because we gotta consider all things, you know, when we talk about stuff like this, man. Let me see the Grizzlies' schedule here. Because I think they've been hot. I think they've lost a lot of games this season. Ja Morant, started the season injured, or he was suspended for pulling a gun out in a strip club or something. I don't remember. He's always doing something. But they just got Ja Morant back recently. And they won, what are they? 3, 5, 7, 9 of their last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 9 and 13? Like 9 of their last 13? That's pretty good. 9 and 4 in their last 13 it was. And then they lost to the Wizards last night. So, okay. I mean, they're not great. But they're not like a bottom-of-the-barrel team right now. They looked like bottom-of-the-barrel team some parts of this season without Ja Morant and without some of their other guys. But they're not a tanking team or anything like that, and they might be on the upward swing. Although I think trading Desmond Bane was a big blow to the Memphis Grizzlies. Ant C, what's going on, my man? Member for 26 months. Joel floater from the foul line at the end of the game was crazy. We definitely tend to make more silly plays with the tiniest lead. Are you talking about the hook shot that he put up? Yeah, I mean, he just tried to get busy on the block. Shot clock was running down, and he realized, oh, shit, I got to shoot it. And he put up a Hakeem Olajuwon 17-foot hook shot. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Mojo5763, thank you for the super chat again. Any legit moves to be made before the trade deadline? Honestly, man, I don't think there is one for the Sixers. To be honest with you, I think they'll probably do the whole. Get under the luxury tax. They'll probably do the whole Josh Harris, move some stuff around to save me $2 million in luxury tax penalties. I think that's what they're going to do. I don't think you can look at the Sixers and say they need this or need that at the trade deadline. What they need is continuity. What they need is these guys to continue to get on the floor like this and continue to build chemistry. There's nothing else you can really say about what the 76ers need. They need Joel Embiid and Paul George to be on the floor consistently and the whole team to get chemistry. You can't say they need one thing or the other when the guys that they're paying the most money have been in and out of the lineup all season. So I don't really think you can assess the Sixers and point to like a specific thing they need at the trade deadline. I really don't think they make a trade at the trade deadline, man. I really. Mojo, thank you so much again, man. Another super chat said, thank you for the free content, peace and blessings. Thank you so much for the support, man. I appreciate you. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys who watch the show on YouTube. By the way, if you haven't, hit the like button for me one time. There's 536 people still in here. Give me 500 likes. That would be greatly appreciated for all of this free content. I appreciate all you guys for the super chats. You don't have to super chat. Thank you just for being here, just for watching. But if anybody that does super chat, I appreciate the support so much. And listen on Apple Podcasts and Spotify also. Go follow me on podcast platforms. That helps the brand out also if you just go over to Apple Podcasts and hit that little follow check mark. Let me start over. Mail Kadad 5860. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Sorry for messing up your name there. I am just a dumb American. Not a 76ers fans by any means, but wanted to come show love. I can tell the effort you put into your content, and this is exactly what the league needs. That said, let's go Knicks. Hey, man, I appreciate the kind words, especially from a Knicks fan. Especially from a Knicks fan, because I come at Jalen Brunson quite often. To be honest with you, I can't stand watching Jalen Brunson play basketball. And that combined with the fact that anytime I talk about Jalen Brunson, Knicks fans just flood the comments and send my engagement to the roof. And they know that, but they can't help it. So now it's just funny to me. I'm like, what should I do today? You know, I could make a video trashing Jalen Brunson and get a bunch of free attention on, and they know it. They're like, this is clickbait. You just want engagement from Knicks fans. I'm like, you commented. If only we had RC4 on the team. Damn, we got a Ricky Council stand in the chat. That's pretty random and crazy. He's on a Houston's G League team. And that's probably where he's gonna be. All right, let's look at the standings. Let's look at the Sixers schedule. And then let's get out of here, man. Let's see. NBA. Are we under the Sixers schedule? Sixers. Let's go standings first. The standings. Eastern Conference. Detroit 24-8, New York 23-9, Boston 20-12, Toronto 20-14, Sixers 17-14. And yeah, there's a couple of games the Sixers could have won, to be honest with you. The Sixers could be 19-12. They could be 20-13 right now. They really could be. You know, so we could be arguing that they're the third seed in the East right now. They lost a couple that they probably should have won. They've played a lot of games without their guys. 17-14. You know, all things considered, once again, all things considered, the Sixers are 17-14. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of things to work out, a lot of chemistry issues, a lot of guys in and out of the lineup, a lot of odd coaching decisions, but 17-14. You know? I think that's, I don't think we could ask for much more than that, all things considered. Again, I think Toronto falls out of it. Now, I think I'm guilty of not watching any Toronto Raptors games this season, except for when they've played the Sixers. I've watched some Celtics games, some Knicks games. I've watched some Detroit games. I'm going to go downstairs and watch the second half of that Detroit-LA game. That's probably a good one. What's the score of that one right now? Let me know in the chat. But look, the East is what it is, man. None of these teams are the Oklahoma City Thunder. You're telling me the Sixers don't have a chance against Detroit in a 7-game series? I tell you you're wrong. You tell me the Sixers don't have a chance against New York in a 7-game series, I tell you you're wrong. Boston, I'm taking Philly. I don't know what it is, man. And I haven't been this confident about the 76ers in years. Maxey this season, the emergence of VJ Edgecombe, just something about this team is making me just believe in them a little more than I usually do. Yeah. Chat Sports mentioned trading Michael Porter Jr. and Haywood Highsmith for Paul George. LA swap rights. Yeah, well, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. That's because Chat Sports doesn't have real content. They just make clickbait trade videos every day. And you guys click on them and you guys listen to it. You know? Sorry. I can't stand seeing that YouTube channel. Breaking news. Breaking news. Trade and straight up clickbait, bro. Straight up. Sixers trade for Michael Porter Jr. No, what? Straight up clickbait. Every day. How do you even enjoy just talking about fake trades every day? Hey, man, listen. This was a fun one. Sixers got to win. Oh, we didn't look at the rest of the schedule. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let's go schedule. Let's see who we're playing. Let's see who we're playing next, man. Sixers. How do you work this? Box score, play-by-play, team stats, videos. How do I go to... All right, hold on. I got it. Teams. 76ers schedule. There we go. There we go. DJ, do you think Maxey's better than Cade? It's tough because Cade Cunningham has the size, you know? And and a point guard with that size is just so prototypical new era NBA, you know? SGA 6'6". Cade Cunningham's what? 6'6", 6'7"? 6'7". That my son's been doing that. Evan, I just heard that in my head when I said 6'7". I can't believe I just did that. And you know, Tyrese Halliburton 6'5", and it's advantage to have that height advantage. You know, I love me some Tyrese Maxey, but I'm not completely biased. I'll take either one of them. I'll take Maxey or Cade. And Cade Cunningham's like, what, 23 years old? But straight scoring-wise, like straight buckets, I'm taking Maxey. Straight buckets, I'm taking Maxey. All right, let's look at the schedule here, man. We got Dallas again on Thursday. Now, we just beat Dallas 121-114, and that was without Joel Embiid and possibly without Paul George. I don't remember. We can look at that box score real quick. Who did we have active in this one? We had Maxey, VJ, Grimes. Yeah, PG was out. Joel Embiid was out. And we beat Dallas. And this is why I said you guys were crazy for trying to tell me that we're going to go 0-5 on this road trip. When we lost to OKC, people were like, oh, we're going 0-5 on this road trip. I was like, Memphis and Dallas? Come on, man. They can beat Memphis and Dallas. And they're going to beat Memphis and Dallas. So they're going to beat Dallas on Thursday. And then we got a real fun one. Saturday, January 3rd. Sixers, Knicks. Oh, yeah. Saturday, January 3rd. Sixers, Knicks. Man. I'm excited for that one. Then we got Denver, Washington, Orlando. Back-to-back against Toronto. Back-to-back against Cleveland. Indiana. Phoenix, Houston, New York, Charlotte. I'm excited for these upcoming games, man. The schedule's fun right now. The schedule's fun right now, man. And for those asking why I don't live stream the games anymore, to be honest, I'm going to be totally honest with you. It takes a lot of my time. I have a 10-year-old son. You know, I prefer to be downstairs hanging out, watching the game on the TV, and like it wasn't really doing much for me financially. Like I wasn't really, because there's no replay value in a game watch along, you know? So unless you have thousands of people in there and people are super chatting and stuff, like realistically, I'm taking 3 hours away from my family to be up here calling a game, and I'm not really getting anything out of it. And the second part is that for me personally, watching the game and not interacting with a chat the whole time, I'm much more locked in with what's going on in the game, and then I feel like I have a lot more energy and a lot more, like analytical takes, or just I have a lot more clear thoughts about what I want to say on the post game because I was concentrating on the game a lot more So that's why I think it's better for my post-game show. And that's the podcast post-game show is my sponsored moneymaker anyway. So that's really the decision that went into that, man, to be totally honest with you. But thanks for being here for the post-game shows. And yeah, I'll see you guys.